got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, I'll be here till the end of time. You got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Tease, tease, tease.
It's really been such a long time since I've read a manga that just invokes such a strong emotion in me, made me feel such a strong emotion. And this time around, the manga that has done that for me is called Beck. It's given me such a powerful emotion, and really to explain what that emotion is, I gotta talk about Beck. So Beck is about this kid called Beck who likes music and becomes a rock star. That's the whole story, the end. Nope, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I lied. I'm sorry. There's this kid called Koyuki. He's a middle school student. He's 14 when we first see him. And pretty much, his life is boring. He already has his whole future planned out ahead of him. He thinks he's gonna go on to just be a normal student, an ordinary student. He's gonna go to an ordinary university and get a job at an ordinary company. All in all, his life will be boring. But all this changes as soon as he meets a guy called Ryusuke. He's this very cool guy who's from America, I think New York City, and he's a rock musician. As we're being introduced to him, he literally pulls out a gun. Like, what the heck? Moving off to the side for a sec, right at the beginning of Beck, I noticed that everything feels very natural. The characters and really just the way they interact and have conversations and stuff, it just flows so smoothly. And really I feel like that's a very big, strong point for Beck. But anyways, moving on, Koyuki starts to get interested in Western rock music as soon as he meets Ryusuke. Well, maybe not as soon as he meets him, but because of him, he starts to get interested in it. Koyuki sees that Ryusuke plays in a band, that he's a guitarist, and is very heavily influenced by him. To the point that his ordinary, boring life that he had all planned out starts to get derailed little by little. Something I really liked while reading this was that it doesn't throw you into music right away. Instead, it shows you a very random journey, at least in like the first 10 chapters, of how Koyuki slowly begins to get into music, how he gets interested in trying to become a musician. Which is great because it really sets a stage for who Koyuki is, who Ryusuke is. And overall, I'd say it really just gives you a nice appreciation for the development of these characters. Now, you do get to see the beginning part of Koyuki, him learning to create music, him learning the guitar and training. And it's really just fun of seeing that aspect when it comes to trying to make music, being a beginner. Which is very funny because it almost takes like a year in the manga for Koyuki to even join a band. So I think it kind of has a slow start, but you really just appreciate the manga because of it. But yeah, eventually Ryusuke, he breaks up with the band he originally plays with and starts a new band with Koyuki and this other kid, Koyuki's friend, called Saku. Together they create a band called Beck, which I guess to explain who Beck is, I guess. It's Ryusuke's dog who's come with him from America. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like a dog straight out of a Tim Burton film. It just has stitches all over his body and looks kind of wild. It looks kind of gnarly. But yeah, that's supposed to be like their temporary band name. They name it after their dog. And so there's a new band called Beck. And eventually 2 other members join. There's this guy called Chiba and another guy called Taira. And together the 5 of them make up Beck. And later down the line, they're also called the Mongolian Chop Squad, so that's another name for them. But throughout their journey, Beck really has to overcome a whole bunch of BS. Bowl of sugar. And I'm talking mountains upon mountains of this stuff. They pretty much get screwed over in every way possible from the producers, or not their producers, but there's just some people who have certain connections who can, you know, pull some strings, and they have it very rough trying to make a living off music and doing something they love. It's not just that, there's also a lot of tragic stuff that goes on. And not to mention that these characters have to learn how to become great musicians. Most of the band members eventually hit a block, or a point where they have to try and improve, not just for themselves, but also just for the band in general. And there are a few times that you you think that this band, you know, this whole band thing is not going to work out. I honestly thought Beck was going to break up quite a few times throughout the manga, because so many things go so horribly wrong for Beck and all its members almost all the time. Every single one of these guys cannot catch a break whatsoever. I think Taira has a line where he says that Beck, they take 2 steps forward and 5 steps back, which honestly describes the struggle and journey that all these characters go on. They keep trying their best just to create anything they like. This is the thing I was kind of talking about at the beginning. All 5 members of Beck pour their all into making music day in and day out. Just one of the obstacles they have to overcome is a very ugly and brutal side of the music industry. It's a very tough opponent, and again, it's very brutal. But what Beck manages to capture more than any other manga I've read, the emotion, the very strong emotion that it made me feel, is what I like to say is the spirit of ambition. Or I guess just ambition. But there are some moments where I look at these pages that I'm reading and I feel like a fire is lit deep within my gut. It's almost an indescribable feeling, but it almost makes me feel invincible, and honestly really it makes me think I could do anything I ever want to. Although you can't hear any music while reading this manga, you can definitely tell that all the sounds that Beck makes, all the sounds that the members make, it comes from the heart. And I don't know how the author is able to do that, I have no idea, but to me it's the best part of Beck. I've read other manga about music before. I've read Shiori Experience. It's about a high school teacher, or maybe not a high school teacher, I forgot, but a teacher being possessed by the spirit of Jimi Hendrix while she's on her journey in becoming a rock star, or else she'll die at the age of 27. And she starts a band at her school with the students, which honestly, it just, if that doesn't sound awesome to you, I don't know what does. And I guess the only other manga about music I've read would be Blue Giant. It's about this guy who falls in love with jazz and wants to be a very great jazz musician. But for now, I think Beck is probably my favorite manga about music, and honestly, I think it's made it into my top 10 manga, so yeah, it's very great. Something that Beck kind of showed me is that music could be expression, whether it be your feelings, how your day has been, or really just your entire being. All of that and or any of that can just get poured into music, or into the music you're making, or really just whatever you're making. And you can tell that each member of this band all has a craving for music. For the longest time, I didn't really have a favorite genre of music, anything besides country really. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hate country. But thanks to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Shiori Experience, and now Beck, I've been introduced to rock. My favorite band is actually System of a Down, if any of you have heard of that. Probably a lot of you have. I also like Guns N' Roses, and I've been getting into Nirvana recently too. But what I think is another great thing about Beck is that you don't need to be a fan of rock or even music to enjoy this manga, because this story is for anyone who's ever felt passionate about anything in their life. At its core, that's what Beck shows. I don't think any manga has ever given me the kind of motivation Beck has given me to chase my passions and really my dreams and whatever I want to do. It's something that really just resonated with me so much on a personal level, and I love when manga do that. That's really what I'm a sucker for. That's why I read manga, and I truly do appreciate this story. I guess some other announcements. I'm already in college. I actually have some homework to do after I'm done recording this video. So yeah, I'm in college, and because of that, I'm not really too sure how my upload schedule will be going from now on. I think I'll be trying to get a video out every like 2 weeks at the very least. Yeah, I think that sounds good. But that probably won't be super concrete because, you know, college is kinda important. But whatever the case, I'll try my best to try and keep a regular upload schedule. I also have a second channel where I play games. I think the only stuff I have uploaded on there is Black Ops 3 Zombies, COD Zombies. But I definitely want to expand to more games in the future. I think I want to upload some Zelda videos on there eventually. Definitely some more COD Zombies and maybe Yakuza? No, I don't know. Elden Ring? I think I want to try making some videos over that. But yeah, I have a second channel that's centered around gaming. If you have read Beck, I'd really like to hear what you think about it. And I mean, if you haven't read it, hurry up and go read it. What are you doing? Come on, you heard me. I know you heard me. Go and read it right now. Hey, go read it. You have to read this. It's like a 10 out of 10 story. No, maybe even 100 out of 10. No, 1,000 out of 10. No, even better than that. This is a masterpiece. Please go read it right now, ASAP. Okay, I don't even know where I'm going to put this in the video, but while I was looking at the Wikipedia for Beck, I saw that there's a game for it that came out on March 31st, 2005 on the PlayStation 2. I'm not gonna lie, I do not understand, but I think I have a video pulled up from 15 years ago. Let's see. Whoa! That was kind of loud. This is the channel if you want to check it out. It's John H channel, whatever. What? You know, something I forgot to mention while I was recording the, actual part about the manga, the kind of review part, is that this Beck, it kind of gave me a nostalgia that I didn't even have. By the time it finished, I was only 4 years old, but for some reason, I felt kind of nostalgic for Beck while I was reading it. And again, this is my first time reading this manga, so I guess I mainly felt that really near the beginning, especially because the art, it's, you could kind of see it's dated. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good night or day. I need to go do my homework, and peace.